Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Adobe Live here on Behance. Do you know, today I was so excited to see this in my diary because it says food. There is food, and we are in such good company today with Elena Resko. Welcome, Elena.
Hi, nice to meet you all.
Oh, it's so good to meet you. Elena, you are in such great company because our chat, right, we have lots of familiar faces that come back every day for our live streams. We're always talking about food in some way. There's biscuits, there's fondant fancies, there's pick and mix, I think I've seen in the chat today already. And so I know that this is, it's going to be a great stream for everything that we have in store. Get your questions into Elena today, everybody. We're chatting in Behance. So behance.net/live. If you're watching on YouTube, just remember that the chat will be taking place in Behance. And then after the session, we'll be chatting in Discord as well. So Elena, please let everybody know a little bit about you, what you do, and what it is you're about to share with us today.
Sure. Hi, everybody. It's really nice to meet you. And thank you for inviting me here. I'm Elena. I'm a Berlin-based commercial illustrator. And I work with editorial, advertisement, well, mostly editorial and advertisement. And I'm kind of trying to switch more to the product-based work as well, because, it's really nice when you can actually touch the things you're making. As an illustrator, I think it's kind of rare to do this. You mostly see your things on web or somewhere else, but not like the actual product. But I'm talking about my future. Let's talk about what's now. So I do editorial and commercial advertisement work, but I guess I'm mostly known for food illustration. And I know the majority of people are more excited to hear about that, actually, because who cannot relate to food, right? So, yes. So here is a disclaimer. If you don't have snacks, please do grab them right now, because a lot of people are complaining that all the time, they are looking at my work and they are getting hungry. So it's not my fault. Grab your snacks and watch what's going on.
I did actually write something in the chat before we got started, and I actually said, I hope you've got snacks, everybody. I've gone out and bought myself some fondant fancies, some frosty fancies I found. I can't wait to get stuck in. But yes, and tell me, what's your favorite food to draw, Elena? What's your favorite?
This is a really hard question. I mean, there are so many possibilities in this sphere, right? You can basically draw whatever you like. And it's kind of hard. I like the type of food where you have a lot of ingredients in it, right? But if I would pick something, I would definitely pick pizza, just because it is in my soul to love it and to draw it as well. Which is not that often as I would like, actually, but yeah.
No, good. Pizza is always good. It's always time for pizza. And just really quickly, tell us how you got into this. What made you go down the food illustration route as opposed to any other illustration?
That's actually interesting because, if you're looking for some advice for the beginning illustrators or beginner illustrators or something, everybody's telling you, okay, you need to find some kind of niche to be focused on, maybe. And I was looking for this kind of thing for such a long time. I was what do I actually really like that much that I would want to draw this all my life and never get tired of it? And then I was okay, there is one thing that I really like, and which is never an old theme, let's say, it will always be popular. People will always relate to this. And I just started to draw some food, and a lot of people, for some reason, picked up on this. A lot of clients were referencing my really early food drawings, and that's why it kind of started to build on my let's say passion illustrations. And this is where I am now.
Great, and it would be great to show everybody some of your work. Actually, shall we jump in?
Sure. I actually prepared this is my introduction screen. Hi. I really aspired to this picture, but it never happens like this. I don't have the hat, I don't have the easel, but let's imagine this. And I actually made a small, how do you switch it? Mood board. Because everybody's always asking what do you like? What is inspiring to you? And I'm oh God, what do I like most? And it's really hard to narrow this down. It took me ages to collect this one because I like so many things. And I don't know if it's influencing my work directly anyhow, But I think the bigger the visual library you have in your head, the better artist you are actually. So you can see like I have all kind of stuff here, like cookbooks, like traditional art, some comics, some modern art, and
Moomins. I haven't seen Moomins for years. Yes. They're Finnish, aren't they?
Yes, of course. Yeah, they are my favorite. I love them so much. This is my favorite book from my childhood as well. So yeah, like ceramics and all this stuff. I really like a lot of things. It's really hard to narrow it down. Yeah, so let's get to my actual work. I made this big screen of all the stuff, but I will show it in more details as well. I will probably not be talking about particular projects, but if you have any questions on the go, then just ask me. I will just like flip through what I have.
Oh yeah, I'll let you know if there's any questions from the team. Looking at this, I'm hungry already. Look at this rice. And onion rings, and oh my goodness, is that calamari?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was supposed to be calamari, but they also look like onion rings a bit. Yes, I agree.
It looks so good, really good.
So I'm just gonna flip through.
Nice. You can see all of the detail that you have there, even in that slice of lemon that you had there to the left. Just all of the detail that goes in, all of the sections. It's really good. And the egg. Yeah, really good. And what kind of work do you get booked for then, Elena? Like what kind of, what kind of projects do you find yourself working on the most?
I guess mostly still editorial stuff, like some kind of, like it's all over the place actually. Sometimes it's for like, even for recipe websites. Sometimes it's like for bigger editorials, like for example, the ones Eater does. Or I don't know, like some ad campaigns which are involving some kind of food, or any kind of websites which are actually involved in any kind of like food or gastronomy, let's say content. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, you can see the work that you do. There's so much detail. I'm loving this. I'm really looking forward to seeing how we get into it actually today, but I'm not going to jump ahead. I'm going to stick right where we are.
Yeah.
The audience is hungry, Elena.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, guys. I warned you.
Sandrine is hungry again. She spotted the burger. Angus is hungry. Everyone's saying that looks nice. So yeah, really good. Really good to hear. And do you ever do things that aren't food? I can see you've got a sun and a cloud. Is it really food that you focused on? Or?
Not actually. You will see it later in the presentation that I actually don't draw food like 100% of my time. I have a lot of other things, and I actually work for a really like wide array of different like subjects of clients, like from science to like I had a project with the nuclear university recently, and like all this kind of stuff. I just think people pick up from my portfolio mostly. Like, I mean, this is what people are talking when they say pick something you're really passionate about. So the clients can also pick it from what you're showing. And I think people are just generally picking food illustration more than anything else, even though I'm pretty proud of everything else I do. But yeah, like this son is my favorite character actually, because he is so grumpy. I don't know, it. So grumpy, and like I'm really not a morning person, and I really see myself in it somehow.
It is cute. It's nice. And I saw there was a phone screen. Were they like stickers for Instagram?
Yes. Not Instagram, but Snapchat though. Yes, it was a pack of stickers. Yes.
Are they still available now?
I think you would need to have this like QR code. I don't know how it's called, like this yellow thingy where you scan it and you can add them.
Oh, a QR code.
I hope it still works, because they're kind of doing this limited stuff, so you can add them for 3 days, and after that you would need to search with this QR code or something.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I know there's so many people that love to take photos of their food before they eat it. I know so many of my friends do this. And then when you're sharing food, of course, then it's what do you put on it? Normally it's yum or nom nom nom, or so those stickers, perfect. I can see them being used everywhere.
Yeah, true.
And Sandrine asks in the chat, how do you make stickers for Instagram or Snapchat?
I have no idea about Instagram though, but for Snapchat is commissioned work. I guess you maybe can do the like user-based something like for your own for your own use, but I honestly don't know. But this work is commissioned.
I think it might be through Giphy. You know, I'm sure that you have to upload them there and then
on Instagram for definitely they work with Giphy, so you would need to upload to Giphy first. And like I'm actually planning to do this really soon. I hope to have some time to make a lot of stickers for Instagram, but
future projects.
Future project. Now I said it online, so it might come in life actually.
Yeah, that's true. Put it out there for sure. Yeah. And so you've got so many projects of different things here, different foods. And we asked earlier, you know, what's your favorite thing to work on? You mentioned pizza is one of your favorite things to draw. What's been one of your favorite projects overall?
Oh, it's really hard to say. I think like it was before, I don't know, like this big sandwich you've seen, like on the full screen. This is a project I made for public supermarkets in US. And it was like an advertisement campaign, and they just made me draw like food and nothing else. And I was like, oh God, this is so good, just food. And that's it. And they were like really supportive in everything I want to do there. So I just like made what I wanted, and it was really nice. I think it was one of my favorite projects. It's unfortunate that I couldn't see this in real life because, well, it's US. But I really hope somebody have seen it and maybe liked it a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's always good to have a relationship then with somebody that completely trusts you and just says, just go and do your thing, right? Just go and draw food. We've seen your work. We know we like it. Just go. You know, that's the dream. That's the creative dream. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
amazing. Pizza, by the way. And speaking about stuff which is not food, I have a couple of things where like no food is actually involved, which is kind of weird, I know. But
these are great. Look at the characters. I love it.
Yeah.
And Gareth asks, are these made in Photoshop?
Yes, I solely work in Photoshop, nothing else.
Amazing. We're going to jump into Photoshop next, actually, and start working on something. So we're going to see some of the action. I love it. These are great, though. Your drawings are really good. You know, you're a very good illustrator. Very good.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah, really good. So good to see.
Yeah. So this is my presentation. This is another my favorite character. This bird, I love it so much. She's always carrying like some kind of bread. Because
I love it. I absolutely love it. And should we jump into Photoshop?
Yes, sure.
Should we go for it today? I know that normally don't feel pressured to finish a whole project within the hour. We've already been 13 minutes, and it honestly feels like 2 minutes. I don't know if everybody is hungry in the chat. I certainly am. I'm honestly loving the work so far here. And Catherine asks a question for you, Elena, whilst you're getting set up in there. Has Elena ever done Nouvelle Cuisine illustration? Did I pronounce that right?
What is it? Sorry.
Is it Nouvelle Cuisine? Is that like French cuisine? Catherine, please provide more information.
Not that I'm aware of, but maybe because I kind of don't get what it is.
And Angus does say, by the way, that he's loving the menu illustration on your Behance site with the lobster and the mushroom.
Oh, thank you.
Let's have a look. Oh, nice. Well, let's get started. Catherine, let me know if there's any more to that question, and I will get it asked for you. Elena, where do you begin then? Where do you start?
Okay. A disclaimer. Today, I will go and I'll show you like a really speedy process. It generally doesn't happen like this. I'm a thinker. I'm always like, is this better? Is this better? Do these colors work? I change a lot of things during the process, but I will show you like partially how it works generally. Mm-hmm. So I have a sketch and it looks like this generally. And I was told that my sketches are kind of too neat for sketches. And I'm like, okay, but this only happens when I know what to draw. Sometimes if it's an editorial piece where you need to think more than just like drawing food, let's say, you would need to put a bit more like thinking process. It doesn't mean that there is no thinking process in this. I mean, it's more complex. And here I kind of use familiar to me forms and shapes and like what I acquired over the years. And that's why I do these sketches, which are so neat. And here today we are having a very weird combination of stuff. It's like a breakfast cocktail. So we have coffee with eggs, with toast, with pancakes, with everything you would want to eat for breakfast.
Amazing. And of course, right now it would be brunch, which is the best meal of the day.
I agree.
It has to be, right? And hey, tell me, Elena, where do you begin with this sketch? Do you do this on the iPad? Is this on paper and you're capturing this through Adobe Capture, bringing it in?
Actually, I actually do this on iPad just because like paper is so wasteful. And I think now we have technology to do all the sketching like somewhere. And it's really amazing that you don't have to waste paper, you don't have to waste resources except for electricity, of course. And that's it. And it's really convenient to just drop it to the Photoshop. I usually just use AirDrop on my Mac and that's it.
Yeah. And Gareth says he's surprised it's hand-drawn because it looks like it's been made in Illustrator. Gareth, I completely agree. It's so neat.
Yeah, I don't know why. A lot of people are telling me this, that I'm like, are you really working like in raster graphics? But that's because I'm obsessed with like, doing this neat stuff all the time. But it's never vector shapes. It's always my hand.
It's so good to start from this. Amazing. Amazing.
So let me show you one thing, because now we would need to speed up. This is the sketch I would normally work with. Like I would start with this and I would build some color scheming on top and then I would start working. But as we have not that much time now, I would use this sketch, which is much, much more detailed. And oh God, somebody's ringing the door. Sorry.
Don't worry.
So I would put it on multiply and I would, because I'm too lazy to get rid of the white background and I would need to build some color on top. So I would just like make the low opacity thing and then let's go for the color scheme. This is taking usually a lot of time. Now I'm prepared to do this quickly. So let me show you. Like this is the basic color scheme I would generally use. Like I would build this and then I would build on top of this while working. But now we would need a bit more like certainty, let's say. So I added a couple more colors just to widen the range of the colors I can use. What we do, we would just start laying out the flat color. Okay.
And whilst you're doing that, Catherine did come back in the chat. Thank you, Catherine, to say, and I saw Tim actually provide an explanation as well on this. Nouvelle Cuisine is a style of French cooking where the dishes are delicate and small in presentation. Have you ever designed anything like that?
So it's like fine dining, right? I guess. Yeah, I had an editorial about this actually. But not that much. I really like it though. I really have a lot of references of this style of food because it's like, it's an art form in itself. It's really interesting to look at it and pick up all the textures and like all this stuff, because like I know a burger is also having a lot of textures, but it's much more interesting when somebody is actually thinking about the presentation so much.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. This is so good. So you're just using the brush tool.
Yeah, it's just a normal brush, like 20 pixels, not 20 pixels, now it's not 20 pixels, obviously, but it's a normal brush tool. I've never done it before, so I'm kind of jiggly.
Hey, don't worry. Don't worry at all.
Yeah. So I would just like hopefully build flat color on the top of my sketch. And this is really weird to do, I know, but it's really like, I really like to do this for some reason, like not to use the thing, but just to color it like coloring page. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. I use the color drop tool, like the paint. I don't know what's the name of it. The paintbrush, the paint tool. I think it might be paint.
It's called paint bucket, I guess.
The paint bucket. There we go. Yeah, I use that on Fresco, but then I always find that it doesn't fill the edges as neatly, so I have to do it by hand. So it's always nicer to do it by hand.
Exactly, but it's also a kind of meditation. You just do your thing. If you are not in a rush, though. like if I am in a rush, I use a circle, which is a shape actually, because it's easier.
That's good.
Um,
Gareth asks, what drives your color choices?
Oh, this is really like, it's a hard question because I generally sit a lot on what I want to achieve in terms of the color scheme. And I have a set of colors which are, let's say, more preferable for what I do. And if the job allows, I would just use what I like to use, like purples and I don't know, pinks. Hopefully not much green, because I kind of don't like green. But generally, it's really intuitive. I don't use any tools. I just build colors as I like. There is no science behind it at all.
I have to find it takes some time to find a good color palette. I could spend all the time that I would think I would be drawing and just finding colors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is mad. I think one thing that's good, we've got an app, Adobe Capture, and you're able to capture your colors based on anything that you see in the room that you like the colors of. So I could get my cakes, and I could get all of the blues from this box to add to a project, for example. Really easy.
This is really cool. Yeah. Oops. So these are probably the only like vector-based shapes, these circles, and that's it. Just because it's easier, and also kind of like that when you have a shape layer, you can easily adjust the color without doing any overlays or whatever. So.
Hey, Stuart asks a good question. What's your average illustration time from your concept to delivering your final artwork?
It really, really depends on the complexity. And also it depends on how long do I need to think about it. Like, I mean, sometimes you have a concept and it's straight away. Sometimes things don't work and you would need to adjust your concept. For illustration like this, I would maybe take 5 hours or something. But this is like pretty intuitive, I think, because this is the brief I made for myself, right? So it's kind of easier. Also, it depends on the subject as well. I mean, probably if there are any people involved, it's going to be a bit longer for me just because it's more complex thing to draw, I guess, for me at least.
Do you find that there are a lot of revisions then when you submit a final piece?
Actually, I'm really lucky with clients. They almost always like what I do, maybe because they come for a particular style and they know what's going to be the end result. And I guess it's if I have any changes, it's really minor because the concepts are always discussed upfront. I show sketches to the clients, and if they don't like the idea, which also generally doesn't happen that much, and then we adjust the project, but in really minor things. Sometimes I'm asked to get rid of pink because I really like pink, and sometimes it's just not okay. But that's it. I don't have a lot of complaints or revisions or anything generally.
That's so good. See the chat, they're saying, Stuart's saying, add more salad cream, make it pop. Tim's added more cowbell.
What?
I love the randomness, honestly. Very good. And Angus asks, do you draw from picture references or do you draw from life?
Generally, I don't use picture references now because, okay, it's not a fair answer. I use picture references if, let's talk about food illustration in particular. If sometimes you would need to draw a really complex object, like a lobster, for example, you would probably need to look how it looks like in real life. And I sometimes do. If it's a strawberry, I already know how it looks. Why do I need to look at it again? But if it's something more complex or a dish I would never tried or seen before, I try to flip through some pictures on Google or wherever I get them, on Pinterest, And after that, I just close it and I draw what I like acquired through this like kind of research process.
Yeah. Yeah, there are definitely some items which could be quite hard, like a lobster, definitely.
Yeah.
Or passion fruit. They could be quite fiddly.
Oh, passion fruits are like a nightmare to draw, honestly.
I saw that you had one in your work that you shared earlier.
I know. Yes.
Nice.
It's like, it's really hard.
What is the hardest food to draw? Would it be that passion fruit?
Not really. You know, passion fruit still has this kind of like really certain shape somehow. And sometimes there are things which are like just a big ball of mush. I don't know. And you're kind of like, how do I show it in a really good way? Even though it's just like one big blur of some kind of mashed potatoes or something like that. And I think it's the hardest thing to draw something which doesn't have actual shape.
Yeah. Sandrine says pomegranates are quite hard. Yeah, I imagine all the seeds.
True.
Hard. Stuart's talking about salad cream. Oh, I'm not a fan. Are you a fan of salad cream, Elena?
Salad what? Sorry, what?
Salad cream. It's kind of like mayo, but it tastes a bit sharp.
Is it a UK thing or what?
I think it's an 80s thing, to be honest with you. But
okay.
It might just be a UK thing.
I have never heard about this.
No, and don't feel that you need to go out and get some either. I wouldn't recommend. Yeah.
Okay, this is actually taking me a lot of time, as you might see. And now I'm even not trying to be precise. So
it's all coming together though. There's so many pieces in that picture as well. Though.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, this is what the bucket tool does, these like edges, which I really don't like. That's why I'm coloring everything by hand. I don't know if there is any workaround around this. I know I've searched for this before on Google, like if you can like go around this kind of stupid, like 1 pixel line on bucket tool, but I don't remember if something ever worked. So if you have a solution, please let me know.
Yeah, if anyone in the chat has a solution on that, I do not know. So that would be good to find out.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a debate in the chat now between mayo and salad cream.
Oh, God.
Gareth loves salad cream. Oliver prefers salad cream to mayo.
Oh, God. Who prefers anything to mayo? Come on, guys. Like, really?
It's so good. You're so right, though. It does make you hungry when you're you're doing this.
And imagine it's my work. I'm like kind of looking at this all day long.
It's good. And there are a few questions earlier on that popped up in the chat about the version of Photoshop that you're using at the moment, because of course this is 2019. Do you plan to upgrade it and install the newer version soon, or are you still working on projects you don't want to switch yet?
Yeah, exactly. Like I will switch later for sure, because I was looking at some features that I think they're really cool, but like when I'm in the middle of really like active work, I kind of don't like to do anything to my software just to be sure that nothing happens. Like I know probably nothing will happen, but I just want to be really, really secure, and I will just leave it till the calmer time.
Yeah, totally get it. It'd be awful, wouldn't it? Mid-project.
Yeah, exactly.
So Atashi in the chat is asking questions in regards to how you work with clients, and how do you go about charging for your work? Is it really down to time, or I guess all of it will come down to time at the end, won't it? But
Oh God, this is more like a business advice already. Um,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it really depends. There are so many factors about this, like what kind of client it is, what is the amount of work you would need to do, what are the rights to use your work in the end. Like, you would need to consider so many things before actually bidding on the project, and sometimes it's a gut feeling, even like not calculation. So I guess it's like an experience thing somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because it's how your work will be used in so many ways once it's released.
Yeah. Also,
And how it's
depending on the
liked.
country as well. Like, I mean, sometimes you
Yeah.
work locally, and for example, you work for Germany and nobody will ever see it in the rest of the world. And sometimes it's a worldwide thing. So you would need to consider this as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And John asks, which other illustrators do you take inspiration from?
Oh, God. This is really hard. I have so many names, but actually I can never answer this question like with particular names, because like right now in the era of Instagram, you kind of just have so many people you're looking to, and you cannot just find like two names to say to everybody. You just want to show like all of the 500 people you're following, because they are all so amazing. It's really hard for me to narrow it down and to say like I like these ones for sure. I should have been prepared for this actually, maybe to promote some people. But
yeah, don't worry. Yeah. And Sandrine asks, do you handle the business part yourself, or do you have an agent?
I am having an agent for my children's book work, but all the rest, what you're seeing now is me only. Like, I'm a one person business.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider, isn't there? I know that Sandrine was asking about usage rights, about images and things like that. There's definitely lots of advice I've seen online.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think you can definitely find a lot of useful stuff online nowadays, and yeah, it's just like a constant education.
Yes.
I'm kind of using really wild colors for this picture, and I've noticed this tendency a while ago that I kind of use really like something I would never use maybe a couple of years ago. Like this green, for example, is completely wild for me.
It looks good. It's so vibrant. All of your work that you showed earlier is so vibrant. The colors are amazing. You've really got a good palette of colors in there.
Thank you. So actually, you know what? I think this is not the most interesting part of all of this process, and I will do a quick trick. I was really hoping that I could draw more flats, but I came prepared, and I will just do like this. This is what we've did, and I just put my flats on top.
Oh, wow.
So you can see, because like it would take me an enormous amount of time to just finalize all these flats, and I'm kind of like also trying to talk, and it's going really slowly. So I will just like maybe show you a bit more of texturing part. I guess a lot of people are interested in this more than in flat coloring.
Brilliant.
So I will probably still leave the picture on top just to see some details of my sketch. And yeah, let's get to some texturing.
And Stuart asks, did it take many years to start pulling in clients on a regular basis? And then the second part to that is, how did those clients find you? So,
oh God,
did it take a long time?
I guess, yeah, somehow. Like, it definitely takes not like a couple of months to get to this stage, and you would need to put some work to be constantly asked about drawing food. That's my message. But yeah, what was the question except for the years?
And it was, how did they find you? How did they find your work?
Like generally, I guess they're just like searching through the web, and they are finding like Behance or Instagram or Like sometimes I'm on Twitter, but it's really rarely. I genuinely don't post that much there. And yeah, I guess on internet they see something, and I know there was a funny story. One client found me, like they were actually people from Berlin, and they were like, the designer of the company was actually searching through Pinterest, and they saw like one of my illustrations, and they are like, okay, let's use this as a reference, because they were building some kind of pitch deck or something like that. And they contacted me because they could find that I'm actually in Berlin as well. And they asked me, can I actually draw a new illustration for them? And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And when they told me that they just found me on Pinterest and decided to look for the initial creator of the work, I'm like, this is really nice. This is how internet should work, right? Like not like using somebody's pictures, but actually trying to commission a person you really like to see in your project.
Yeah, that's true. Pinterest, that's come up on a few other streams actually, that people are getting booked through Pinterest.
But this is the only reference I got about Pinterest. But I generally don't have a lot of I don't have idea how much an idea of how much of my work is actually there, because I've never tried to search it, and I'm kind of terrified to see. So.
John asks, what brush packs do you use?
This is really funny, because I have these brushes for ages and I have no idea where they are from, like really. As you see, like I will show you, this is my brush palette, and it has these weird names, like the brackets. It's just because when I do my brush, like when I try to adjust it for a bigger or smaller size, you can use the keyboard, how do you call it? The keys, I guess. And like you can make it bigger or smaller. And this is like, because all the time I'm suddenly like doing this. So all my brushes are renamed in this matter, and I have no idea where they're coming from. Like I've been using them really for years.
Good shortcuts to have to keep you efficient and productive.
Yes.
So everybody, we've got about less than 20 minutes left. If you have any other questions for Elena today, get them in. We're chatting on behance.net/live. It's really coming together though. Look at all the colors. Really looks good.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like a really, like, I would say it's an unusual palette for me. Like I still like bright colors, but this is probably the brightest thing I've ever done.
Sandrine wants to know if you've ever had a go at creating your own brushes.
Not really. Like I'm really, let's say, I don't have like that many needs. I just use a couple of things which I really like, and I'm also I don't like to change things in the workflow, because like it takes a lot of time to adjust, and I have what I need and I like using it. Why bother like creating something from scratch?
Oh, if it works, then I'll say, yeah, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got it. Sorry if everyone can hear the puppy in the background. He clearly wants to. I've got a little beagle, and he wants to play. So,
oh my God! Why he's not on the camera though? Like it's the most important thing in this stream, probably.
Yeah, he's very cute, but he's a menace. So that's why he's not with me at the moment. Oliver's made me laugh. Oliver's, but the colours are bright. They're not on the scale. And he's referring, Elena, to a stream that we did a few weeks ago where Tim hosted a game show. Mm. We had to draw, and I wasn't there to draw with grayscale, and I ended up creating the most I saw. It was just awful. That's made me laugh. Thank you, Oliver. Sandrine's added, I haven't got my sunglasses on or good colorwise. You lot make me laugh. Honestly, they make me laugh. Very funny. It's It's coming together so well. I loved what you did actually to get this ready as one of the, here's one I prepared earlier, just to show everybody a bit more of your process. I think that's really good.
Yeah. It takes a lot of time for me to, because now I'm kind of not thinking that much about what I'm doing because I have colors ready. I have all the things on top of each other. I could just color. But in real life, it would probably take me much more time.
Yeah, I think you said earlier on, right, that your entire process from concept to final artboard was about 5 hours.
Yeah, it's minimum, I guess.
Stuart making a comment about the picture because I still have the halo effect. Amazing. Do you know, it's actually a good point that Sandrine brought up in the chat. And it's actually good to mention that no one ever thinks of using Photoshop for illustration. It's always Fresco or Illustrator. So it's really good to see this happening in Photoshop.
Really? Yeah. This is really weird. I thought everybody's drawing in Photoshop.
It really works. Good use of your layers as well there, though, because you're really able to go and the changes. It's really good process that you follow.
I'm kind of having 1,000 of layers all the time just because I like to be really, really flexible with what I can change in the end. And it's kind of too much, I think, but I like it.
I actually create a lot of print items in Photoshop, and someone recently taught me to move to InDesign and move things over there because of the amount of layers that I was using. Because every time I would export the artboards, they were 50 megabytes. It's crazy. So I've recently made the move, and it's taking time to get used to it, but it's so much better for me. But it's also good to know that Photoshop can do print items, right, and make those places, make those things. So it's good to see apps being used in different ways.
Yeah, true.
And just to let everybody know in the chat today that there's a couple of other streams that we're working on this week that we've really got to share with you. There's going to be a really great stream happening later today at 2 p.m. You'll see Emma, our very own Emma. You can see the agenda on the screen now. But Rob Baker, who's head of creative strategy for MoMA, will be talking about his creative process and the future of creativity for MoMA. So definitely come back today at 2 p.m. to see that. And then, of course, we're live again tomorrow. We've got some illustration tips happening as well with Noya Bodge. So, 5 illustration tips tomorrow, and then another stream on Thursday as well, and then no stream on Friday, just to let you know a little bit about the week ahead. So you mentioned that you do children's books as well, Elena.
Yeah, a bit. It's just I would say it's a really small part of what I do. It's not much. I'm mostly focused on commercial stuff. So
must be a nice project there. I think you draw people really, really well. Very cheerful looking characters.
Thank you.
So I imagine that would look wonderful in a kid's book.
Okay, as you can see, I'm all over the place. I'm never drawing the same object till the very end. I'm just building some texture and oh god, it's not the right layer. It's never actually that I will draw one object till the very end, but sometimes it happens if I really am not sure what I want to do. I would just obsess over one single berry, and then maybe something will come up in my mind how to make the overall picture better. But here, I'm more let's say confident than usual. That's why it's kind of all over the place.
See, when you showed your process, Elena, your first initial concept drawing was pretty robust. It was quite a really good, it looked like it was built in Illustrator. So your original sketch was good. Do you ever find that as you're working on a project, you change your mind?
Oh, definitely. Like sometimes this is like really unfortunate when you want to change your mind when the picture is almost ready, but sometimes it does happen because, it's kind of a gut feeling, even if you feel like the picture is still good, but you think, okay, maybe there is a way to make it even better. And you kind of, sometimes I just start from the very beginning and I see if the other concept is working better, if I have time, of course. Like if it's a rapid editorial, which needs to be done in 72 hours or like 48 hours, then of course there is no way to jiggle around concepts. But in general, if I feel there is a way to do this better, I would probably use this like gut feeling to do this actually.
Sometimes it takes time, doesn't it, just to step away from it?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And then you come back and you're like, right, let's take out the strawberry. Let's remove the blueberry.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think with food illustration, it generally happens less often because I'm quite confident in what I do. But with more complex stuff, I guess, or depending on the subject, sometimes you want to turn the things around or you want to change the color scheme. Happens to me as well.
Yeah. And Angus mentioned that some of the shading around the edges of your dripping egg reminds him of Will Patterson's lettering stream. Yes, I can see that. Definitely, Angus. Will came onto the stream, I think it was last week we did one with Will, and he does a lot of illustrating in either Illustrator on the iPad, Fresco on the iPad. There's a lot of hand-drawn letters. So yeah, very similar. It's a good technique. This is really looking good. It's all really come together. Those colours are really good as well, really vibrant. This looks so good. And how did you find your process or to find your, your groove? How long did it take really to get into this groove, Elena?
Oh God, no idea, to be honest. Like, you mean overall, like in the course of career, or you mean
Yeah. Like from when you started and you identified that food was the way forward and that was what you were going to do. How long did it take for it all to really fall into place and you develop your style?
I guess a couple of years, maybe. Yeah, it's not that fast, I guess, especially if you are kind of trying to really find the thing which you want to do. And sometimes, like if you build such a big body of work in one particular subject, you need to be sure that it's gonna like work for a really long time, because like what you show is what you're hired for, right? So
yeah, that's true. And Gareth wants to know, do you draw every day and keep practicing?
Yeah, mostly. Sometimes I'm like forcing myself not to do this on Saturdays because
need a day off.
Yeah, I need a day off once in a while. Like this urge to do something for like non-client work always comes, but I'm like, okay, you need to rest. You need to do something else. You need to to get some kind of other experiences in life except for drawing, I guess. So, but yeah, generally almost every day, yes.
And Stuart would like to know if you trained as an illustrator.
Not really. I have a background in graphic design, but I've never studied illustration.
John has a question. Who asks, do you have any personal projects?
Like generally, my personal projects are just like one particular piece of work. It's never something like really long lasting because I think it's really hard to find like a long lasting personal project you would want to do for a long time. And I generally, like, if I do personal projects, they are more for I don't know, it sounds really weird, but for relaxing from work. Like, I don't know how doing the same thing you do during your working hours can relax you in the evening, but yeah, so I don't have like any long lasting personal projects. I generally just draw what I like in the scope of several days, but that's it. I would love to, though, to have something like a more complex thing to be focused on in my spare time.
Yeah, it's good to have a hobby, isn't it? But sometimes it's nice to have something completely different to what you do in the day.
True.
I think we need to get some food pictures in Discord today and get everybody chatting in there with some food images, pictures, if anyone's up for it. Stuart says he loves how you've not used red for the strawberry and the tomato. It's good to see other colours.
Sorry, what? I didn't get it. Didn't hear.
I know that it's good that you've not used red for the strawberry and the tomato. That they're different colours. You're mixing it up with the colours. It's so good. So I think Tim might have shared already your Behance profile and Instagram perhaps in the chat. And I know that a few people have taken a look already. And definitely the Behance profile, because there were some comments earlier on. But people were asking questions about earlier food drawings when you first started. So I'm sure we can share those in the chat for you today so that you can have a little look at Elena's work and portfolio.
Yeah, sure. I have a project there which had a lot of views, and it's a little bit less looking like what I do now, I guess. Like I've changed a bit, but I still like them. Okay, where we are now.
This is definitely making me hungry. I honestly need to cook some eggs or something for an egg sandwich for lunch today after seeing
Oh, that sounds good.
It does, doesn't it? I don't know if anyone else is still feeling the hunger now.
I hope so. That's my job, basically, to make you all hungry.
You do it well. It's good. Hey, John asks, any brands that you wish that you could collaborate with?
Clients?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess. I would love to work for, like, this is not food related actually, but I would love to work for some brands which are doing cosmetics, like not cosmetics like in a decorative sense. Like, I mean, like something like Lush, for example. I would love to work for Lush. Or I would love to work for Coca-Cola as well. Hey, Coca-Cola, please hire me.
Put it out there.
So, yeah, I definitely have a bunch of my dream clients, but let's see.
Yeah, Coca-Cola would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Yes, sure.
Or Nestle, or yes, big brands like, yeah. Oh, it's so good. Well, do you know what, everybody? I know that our stream has to finish a little bit earlier than normal today. And so it's here that we need to wrap up. And Elena, you've done an amazing job within the hour. It's so great that you prepared something to almost finish this project. And we can really see your process from start to finish. And great to see illustration in Photoshop as well. So I want to thank you for your stream today.
Sure. Maybe you want to see the finished illustration, though, because I prepared this as well.
Yes, please. It would definitely go and show me. We've got about 30 seconds left.
Yes, so. This is it.
Oh, amazing. You can see the shading from behind the wrapper. Yes. Love it. Really looks good. Lots of depth. So many different colors used. And it looks very inviting that we want to eat it. Lots of appreciation for your work in the chat today, Elena. Everybody's now hungry and will be off to make some food, I'm sure. So thank you. Thanks to everyone for joining, and we'll see you at 2 p.m. today for the MoMA stream. So see you all soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.